It's the cast of Saturday Night with Rachel Sennott, Dylan O'Brien, Lamorne Morris, Cory Michael Smith, Bella Hunt, and your host, Myles Galloway.
Wow, Myles. Nailed it, Myles.
Lost me there at the end, but that's fine. How are you guys? Welcome.
We're amazing.
Good. Happy TIFF. Welcome to the festival.
Thank you.
I'm so jazzed to be here.
Yeah.
Yes.
That jazzed me up.
Let's get jazzed.
Is jazzed an inappropriate adjective? I actually don't know.
No.
It's
No,
a
that would
great.
be- that would be-
I'm
I'm
jazzed.
jazzed.
It's a verb.
No.
I'm jazzed.
I'm
just
jazzed.
really excited.
That sounds like futuristic slang for crack.
Yeah.
What?
I'm on that
Right?
jazz.
Oh, maybe.
Man, I've been doing that backdoor jazz
That's
lately.
what I was
Bring that.
worrying about.
Yeah, we don't say jazz.
Let's go with that. I was jazzed after I saw the film. It's amazing. It's so good. Was it as chaotic to film as it looked on camera on the big screen? It's crazy.
I would say certain parts of our days for sure were. We shot a lot of oneers, and if you ever fucked up that oneer, it got real on set.
I know. The other thing is when it was a oneer, but you were only in a tiny part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, okay, and you can hear everyone else nailing their part. And then the less you have to do, the more stressful it is. You're like,
Yeah.
all I have to do is put this cigarette in his mouth and not drop it. But then it's like the longer the take goes on, you're like,
Yeah.
the camera comes to you, you're like, fuck. Like, it's so, that was hard. That was
By the time it
stressful.
gets to you, you're dying.
Yeah.
I think for me, and I wonder whether it was the same with you guys not ready for primetime players, Gilda is such a source of joy and goofiness in the room. And kind of her purpose in the environment is to bring some humor into the chaos. So I actually felt like I kind of had to ignore the chaos and just sort of float about like
Go
a
with it.
fairy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, it was chaotic, but it also felt like ballet to me.
Yeah. And did you know about the making of the first episode? Did you know it was that chaotic in real life? I didn't.
No.
I knew nothing. I grew up in the UK and I didn't grow up watching SNL. I didn't know who these people were.
Right.
It was all news to me.
I could tell you just by, being an actor in general, shit gets chaotic at times, so I could only imagine a show like that. So I didn't actually know, but it's not shocking. It's not surprising to see that, something so great came from something so crazy.
And even still, like the adrenaline at an action. We all got to go to an SNL episode just before we started shooting, and just the adrenaline of sitting in the audience as it's happening, like the crazy metrics of how they put that show on. It's an adrenaline rush from start to finish. So, like, imagine the first episode.
It's like being injected with some of that backdoor jazz. You know what I'm saying? It really amps you up.
Thank you for bringing that background.
It feels like everyone must have to know exactly where they need to be at all times. Did you get that vibe when you went to the taping as well? Like, it's just a well-oiled machine.
Yes.
But I think there's also a beauty in people not being where they need to be on time.
Yeah.
That show, some of the funniest moments, is when like Jimmy Fallon is breaking character and he's laughing through a scene, through an entire scene.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, this is crazy, like this is live television.
One of my
Yeah.
favorite moments from shooting was the opening introduction to Studio 8H is this long oneer that we ended up shooting twice, once on our first day of shooting and once on our last day of shooting. And
Well, to be fair, we shot it about 40 times.
oh yeah,
but
yeah.
On 2 different days.
On 2 different days.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying. And we catch Gilda like halfway through this like 10-minute oneer, and she's doing like faces at herself in the mirror, and then she gets told that she needs to be in the studio, and so she skips through and the camera follows her into the costume room. And as she's skipping, she passes Lorne and Andy Kaufman, and the camera catches them and follows them. But Nick Braun and I were both similarly playing very away with the fairies characters, and there were so many instances on those one-a-days where we'd just run straight into each other and like collapse in giggles and be like, I hope they choose that one because that one was fun.
Yeah. Also, we talk about the chaos, but the reality of the thing is that Jason Reitman spent months in advance choreographing and filming the whole film with stand-ins. The preparation that he did, the design that he did, the specificity that he worked with was the reason that we could all inhabit this chaos, because he knew exactly what he wanted. He knew exactly the choreography, what we were looking for. So our time, we didn't have a lot of time for a film this big. And our time was so economically used by Jason, who delivered this unbelievable performance as a director for us to be able to play in this like amazing recreated space.
Yeah, I take it you've all met Lorne now.
No.
Have you?
No.
Yes.
You have,
Briefly.
right?
I
Yeah.
did
Fancy.
briefly.
And what was he like?
Yeah, how did that go?
It was really well. I was just like,
Can you text him right now?
here, definitely not. But here's the thing: I'm like, I'm playing his ex-wife, so obviously I'm like, we have to like vibe, you know?
Yeah.
So I was sort of like, it's me, hey.
I'm the
and-
problem. It's me.
Hey, I'm like, it's me, Rosie, and no, I mean, obviously he's like a legend and is intimidating, but also I was like, I don't know, I was going in sort of being like, do you still love me? But that was kind of my, but it was very cool to meet him.
Yeah.
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 I met him once, briefly. I didn't speak to him, but as I was looking by, I was going to go talk to him, but the look he gave told me, don't go talk to him. He's a very, not aggressive look, but it was one of those like, he's kind of busy.
Yeah, you know the time. Yeah.
And I just didn't want to. I didn't want to bother him.
Well, Gabriel, like, he nailed it, I think. Like,
Oh, he's sensational in
Yeah.
the movie. And he had such a hard task of all of us goofing around and having to be like the stoic one and mapping out the real like time chaos of the night, because I think Jason did quite a good job of sheltering us from, oh, we're at this moment and we're 7 minutes to countdown. Like, we were sort of thinking about that, but Gabe was really thinking about that.
Yeah, we're so-
and the
so in our own
detail
world.
was incredible.
yeah. I should say you all nailed it. Cory, you just, I mean, I thought it was Chevy Chase. Like,
Oh, thank you, man.
the whole time. I was like, it's just him. I mean, you just captured his whole like backstage. I mean, from what I hear, he's like backstage or was like backstage to
There are stories.
yeah.
I appreciate that. This was my first comedy, and I was terrified of messing this up and never doing a comedy again for the rest of my life. So I was like compulsively watching Chevy Chase for a couple months leading up to this, and sort of, I created this like glossary index of all those little like physical
No.
bits and tics, so that I would sort of have this this like menu that I could always go back to. And as I'm like looking through different scenes, I knew like things that I could sort of toss in at certain moments that made sense.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's called working out of fear and paranoia, and OCD.
What did you do to prepare for the role?
I was arguably as diligent as Cory as an actor in my preparation, in that I didn't do a whole lot. Ella.
You were getting jazzed.
And you murder
Yeah.
it. You're perfect.
Dylan is fantastic.
Yes. Yeah. You touched on Nick Braun as well. Obviously playing two different characters. Jim
Double
Henson.
duty. You know, when we
and-
were shooting, the plan was that we were going to say that he was playing Jim Henson, and that then Andy Kaufman was Random Man, and that no one was going to admit to it being Nick Braun. But Nick Braun is so tall that it's not like you could think that he was anyone other than Nick Braun.
Yeah.
But
He's
disappearing
ridiculously tall.
into these roles.
About 7'3".
Yeah, we had him in here once. He was just smacking his head off all the lights.
I think that's incorrect. That's fake news.
That don't make no damn sense. He ain't got no jump shot either. He'll be out here golfing and shit. And I'm like, man, pick up the basketball and make
Does
$1 billion.
love the golf.
I know. It don't make no sense. Wasting all that height.
Lamorne, I need to know, was that you actually singing in the film?
Yeah.
You got a great voice.
Thank you for saying so. That means a lot.
Yeah.
Grammys, perhaps?
No.
And you had to do it over and over and over. all
That
the
day
time.
was
Over and over
insane.
again. Yeah, that was strange. That was a strange moment. Just because, Garrett was an opera singer. That's really difficult to say. I'm going to do this thing that this professional does. We all go karaokeing, and some of the people in this cast, who shall remain nameless, sound like fucking Prince when they sing. Don't look like Prince, but sounds like Prince. And then you got to go like, man, now I got to go and sing this song in front of this cast of singers. This doesn't make any sense to me.
And John Baptiste.
And John Baptiste.
Yeah.
Like, they but I think they definitely helped me. You know what I mean? The accompaniment of the keys and all those things. It just made for a pretty cool scene.
Speaking of karaoke, I do have a video of Dylan doing Alanis Morissette in full, and I will release that for the right price.
She's here. She's
for
here
the
this
right
week.
price.
She's
What?
here. We need to.
Are you serious?
Well, I got to give her the video. We got to show her the video.
Dylan's been dead. And then Alanis.
Alanis Morissette's here. Is she really?
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you text her?
Alanis, if you're watching. Yeah.
Can you text
What
her?
is she here for?
Is it like a Billboard
For you.
Women in Music event? Yeah, she was here last night. You just missed her.
Copy. Did she fly out today?
Yeah. Cool. she heard you were here.
You know where she's
We're
staying?
just talking.
I want to ask you what your dream SNL lineup is. So musical guest and host. You can be yourself if you want.
Rachel and Coldplay.
Okay, cool. Nice.
And Coldplay.
You're in Coldplay.
And it was all yellow.
And it would be it would be Hope Core.
It would totally be Hope
Talk
Core.
about Hope Core.
Me sobbing.
Coldplay is Hope Core.
Yeah. I wonder, do they ever do like 5 people hosting together? Imagine all of us hosting at once.
that would be
That
cool.
would be
This is
chaos.
good.
You know what I mean?
In SNL, that would be smart for you to do.
It would be fun to do a group.
Season 50. It's coming up.
Let's go.
Let's go. What about you? Who would be your dream host and musical guest?
I don't know if Tilda Swinton has ever hosted,
Yes.
but she is the right kind of weird for me to like do multiple
She's here as
characters.
well?
We would be so lucky
Tilda.
to see that woman do multiple characters
Yeah.
in various sketches.
Ella?
I don't have a presenter. What is the word?
Host.
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 What words? It's the end of the day. I don't have a host that immediately comes to mind, but I would love to say, see Caroline Polachek. I think she would
great.
kill it. I think I was
Yeah.
so focused on saying Polachek right that the whole sentence beforehand.
We
was-
No,
followed
you didn't
it.
say
We
any
tracked
other
it.
words, but
We
that
tracked-
you
But
said
I-
her name
I
correctly.
said it
You're
right.
like perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
Dylan, obviously Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, oh yeah. I wasn't even gonna say her, but let's go with Alanis. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
Is it Alanis or Alanis?
I don't know. Let's go with either. Is fine
Let us know in the comments.
because pronunciation is open to your own personal.
Interpretation.
You know,
Is it though?
it's accent. It's what?
Well,
Isn't
okay,
it?
yes.
Don't you think?
Tomato, tomato.
Tomato, tomato.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out.
Thank you for having us.
Congratulations. The new movie Saturday night. I mean, how poetic that it's out 49
On
years
Tuesday night. Oh,
after
okay.
the original.
my bad.
October 11th, 2024. So we're so excited for it. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Thanks for
Miles.
having us,
Thank you.
Miles.
And I hope to see you all on season 50 of the actual show.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Miles.
Hell yeah.